check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, EMC promotes good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting our participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexual comments or intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or student members only will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal within the side competition. Also, consumption or promotion of alcoholic beverages is strictly prohibited. Thank you. for tonight's USA South Athletic Conference matchup featuring the visiting Averett University Cougars and your William Peace Pacers. Now at this time, we'd like to ask everyone to please rise, remove your caps, and face the flag as the analysts come through playing up our national anthem.
What's up, and welcome to the Herman Athletic Center on the campus of William Peace University here in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. Darren Vaught with you for one final game here on the Pacers Sports Network in the 2017-18 campaign. It's the home finale for your Pacers on the men's basketball side as they host Averett University and the Cougars, who they just played a couple of days ago and suffered a close 80-76 loss at the hands of Averett and Danville. So looking for a bit of redemption are the Pacers, and as starting lineups are being announced, I'll start with the Cougars. James Contreras Jr., the senior and leading scorer on this Cougars team, averages over 22 points per game, among the highest marks in the conference for scorers. Jalen Burnett, the junior, Darren Kettner, another senior, Harrison Cochran, a freshman who's really come on strong as of late here in the second leg of the season. And then finally, Moriba Diaby, the sophomore big man, 6'6", out of Fuquay Arena, rounding out the starting lineup for Averett University. For your Pacers, the usual suspects, at least as of late: Smith Gupton, Tyson Sellers, Sam Arnold, Trey Bryant, and Camden Ferguson making the start for this seniorless squad. But by this point, guys like Smith Gupton, hardly freshmen anymore. They've seen plenty of playing time and have improved greatly throughout the length of the campaign. Both teams taking the floor now. Averett donning their navy blue uniforms, gold and white trim. William Peace in their light grays with black and green. We'll set the clock to 20 minutes and make our way to midcourt to get things started. Pacers still in the playoff conversation, though tonight's matchup not as much to do with it as their regular season finale Saturday in Greensboro. It'll be Bryant and Diaby at midcourt. Ball tossed up, batted away by Gupton, and finally in the hands of Bryant, who hands back to Gupton to set the offense. Sellers on the right wing, jabs to the right, drives middle of the lane, floats it up with his right, and it rolls in. 2-0 lead early for the Pacers. 19:42 left to go in the first half with the Tyson Sellers bucket. Burnett running point guard, standing at midcourt for Averett. Dishes right side to Contreras. He drives right side, spins at the block. Fader bounces up and just off of the near side of the rim. Boarded with two hands by Trey Bryant. And the Pacers going up the floor. Sellers fakes a pass underneath. Out to Bryant, top of the circle with the three. It thuds off the back of the rim. And a rebound pulled in the corner by Burnett. It goes back to Averett with 19:12 remaining. Cougars down 2-0. But Burnett pulls it up from the free throw line. Nobody there on the defense. And ties it up at 2. Sellers for the Pacers. Has it on the left wing. Dribbles behind his back and took an elbow to the face from Harrison Cochran. No call, though, and he deals it back up top. Bryant defended by Diaby. Gives right. Pump fake from Gupton. Picks up his dribble at the elbow. Goes back up top to Sellers. 8 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to the right. Bryant drives left side. Tries to lay it in off the bottom of the glass with a little bit of spin. Draws the foul. And Trey Bryant will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the Pacers. As he makes his way to the stripe and adjusts his hairband. He, of course, rocks that up hairstyle. We've heard Coach Shields refer to it as the pineapple look, of course, jokingly. 18 minutes, 40 seconds left in the first half. 2 points apiece for the Pacers and the Cougars as Bryant's first free throw goes up and falls in to give William Peace the lead again. Foul charge to Mariba Diaby, his first personal, first team foul. As Bryant is on the board for the first time today. His second, thuds off the back of the rim. Near 65% shooter on the season. Goes 1 for 2 in that trip, and the rebound down to Averett. Burnett driving left side, and a blocking call as he goes up for the layup called against Trey Bryant. 2 shots on the way on the other end of the floor now for Burnett as Bryant commits his first personal, first team for William Peace. Burnett hasn't started a ton of games, making his 13th start of the year against the Pacers tonight. Confidently walks up and drills his first free throw to tie it back up at 3. Burnett shoots just over 70% from the line as his second rattles in and out and is rebounded by Smith Gupton of the Pacers. 3 all, 18-20 left to play in the first. Gupton drives left, deals out, right wing, wide open. Sam Arnold for 3, buries it, nothing but net. 6-3 the lead for William Peace, 18-10 left until the halftime break. And Jalen Burnett across the timeline for the Cougars. Gives left side to Darren Kettner, the senior. Hand off to Cochran, top of the circle, three-pointer. Rims out and is boarded by Bryant. He hands to Gupton for the outlet pass for the Pacers. Gupton up top to Sellers, who dribbles to his right. Picks up and goes to Sam Arnold. Pump fake on the 3. Puts it on the floor to his left. Picks up at the wing. 12 on the shot clock. He goes back towards center court to Tyson Sellers, who's going to call out directions to his teammates. Pointing left. He wanted a cutter. Has to pull up from 3, and it rolls in. 9-3, a 6-point Pacers lead early. Sellers good on the 3 as some substitutions making their way toward midcourt at the scorer's table, ready to check in eventually at the next dead ball. Burnett for Averett, sends left side. Contreras weaves his way through a couple of defenders, puts up the floater, and it's short of the rim. Pulled in by Kettner. The second chance is off the mark over top of the other side of the cylinder. And Ferguson with the rebound in transition. Hands to Sellers, back to Ferguson. Pull from the right wing. Off the front side of the rim, but Arnold makes his way in there for the rebound. Back out to Ferguson. Drive right side. Floater is up and off the backside of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Kettner, and a quick outlet pass to Burnett. Left-handed dribble from the block. Scoop shot. Banks it in under the outstretched arm of Tyson Sellers. It's 9-5, a 4-point Pacers lead as Ferguson's going to check out of the game a bit hobbled, and he makes his way to the Pacers bench. Gupton and Bryant out also at the whistle. Paul Dunlap, Mikhail Gaylord, and Joshua Jones make their way into the game. Now comes Trey McLean as well. He'll grab Tyson Sellers and give him a breather with 16 minutes, 39 seconds left in the first half. Gaylord will operate the offense. Hands to Jones on the right wing. Fakes a drive to the left, gets a high screen. Jones underneath, the nifty bounce pass to McLean, who can't hit the layup from underneath the basket, boarded by Averett. Burnett, step back on the right wing, cuts and drives baseline, dishes to the left corner. A three-point shot is way too strong over the cylinder, and rebounded by McLean. Here come the Pacers. Jones, left corner 3, good. 12-5 the lead for the Pacers with 16 minutes left in the first half. Averett and Jamal Ford now into the game, running point guard, Vince Contreras, dribbles from the left wing, gives back to Burnett on the left side. He drives and puts up a bank shot from the far corner for two. 12-7 Pacers lead. 15:37 to play until halftime. Dunlap hands to Jones at the top of the circle. Pump fake, penetrates right side, out to McLean. The three-point shot attempt is short, but rebounded in the corner by McLean himself. Back out to the right wing, Jones gives to Gaylord to reset the offense. Stutter step, drives left side, puts it up with his right, just off the front of the rim, and another offensive board for the Pacers. Jones reels it back in, drives right side, too strong on the layup attempt, and this time Averett comes away with it. Ford, hands on the right wing to DeLucia, who carried as he tried to step to his left and free up some space. The turnover gives it back to the Pacers with 15:07 to play in the first half, and brings us to our first immediate timeout. Pacers 12, Cougars of Averett University 7. Take a quick timeout with them on the Pacers Sports Network. $15 minutes, 7 seconds remain in the first half here at the Herm. Darren Vaught with you as William Peace trying to exact some revenge from a couple of days ago. The last time they played this Averett Cougars team, that was in Danville, Virginia, on the road. It was a 4-point loss for the Pacers, 80-76 in favor of Averett. Pacers lead 12-7 with 15 to play in the first. Dunlap catch and shoot as William Peace unable to get points on that possession. It rims in and out, boarded by Vince Contreras. Montre Cash, the freshman, running point guard for the Cougars. They give up top to Timothy Henry. Cash catches and fires from the top of the key off the front of the rim. Contreras with a sneaky rebound, dribbles through his legs, out top to DeLucia. The three-point shot rips the bottom of the net. 12-10, just a 2-point lead for the Pacers now. Gaylord makes his way into the front court with 14:20 until half. Hands to McLean on the right wing, back to Gaylord, right side, floats a pass to the block. Dunlap has it knocked away and it's stolen. DeLucia on the move for the Cougars to the left corner. The three-point shot attempt airballed and reeled back in by McLean. That was Cash on the three-point attempt. Gaylord for the Pacers, bounces to the right baseline. Bryant underneath, goes to Dunlap, who banks it in easily for two and makes it 14-10, 13:50 left in the first half. William Peace leading. A bounce pass underneath to Timothy Henry. Backs down his man Bryant, puts the shot way over the top of the basket, and it's pulled in by McLean. Bounced forward to Gaylord in transition. He made the layup, but it charges the call. DeLucia was there in time and set his feet, squared up, absorbed the momentum of Gaylord, and forced the Pacers to surrender possession. 14-10, William Peace with a 4-point lead. 13:37 until halftime. So DeLucia and Cash bring it up the floor. The freshman point guard from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Left-handed dribble, goes left side, receives a handoff, gives back on the right for the three-point shot attempt by Ford. It thuds off the back of the rim, rebounded by the Pacers, but knocked away out of bounds, last touched by William Peace. And Averett retains possession underneath their own basket. Ford will be the trigger man, the sophomore of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Clears it toward midcourt. Contreras, a one-handed baseball pass to the near sideline to Cash. High screen, he drives left side, now to the right side of the lane. Pump fake, back to DeLucia. Catching, stop, dials up the three, rims off the back of the basket. Boarded by Contreras, who drives right side and lays it up with his right. 14-12 now, Pacers lead. Gupton for three from the right wing off the assist by Sellers, it rattles in. 17-12, 12:45 until the end of the first half. Cash goes to the right side to Louis Patrick Moi. Moi gives back to Cash. Cross from right to left. Pump fake on Jones. Puts it up, but he shuffled his feet before the layup attempt, and it goes back to the Pacers. Cash with the turnover. Averett's second turnover of the day. Gupton from right wing to left to Sellers. They go top of the key now to Arnold, who sets a screen and gives to Jones. Handoff to Gupton. Jab step to the right. Dribbles left. Now to Jones on the left wing. 10 on the shot clock. Puts it on the floor, into the lane. Bounced underneath. Bryant was there. Altered his shot just a little too much, and the layup falls short. Averett now with numbers. Ford deals to Contreras. Right wing. Three off the front of the rim. Batted down by DeLucia. No one's still with the rebound. It's batted to the free throw line, and Sam Arnold brings it in for the Pacers. Sellers from the right wing in transition. It rattles out. And a strong rebound obtained by Moi for Averett. 11:36 until the end of the first half, and Contreras drives through the right side of the lane, knifes his way in there, and lays it in with the right. 17-14. 3-point lead for the Pacers with 11:25 until halftime. Sellers on the right wing. Gets a high screen from Arnold. Was left with some space. Deals right side, and Gupton's pass underneath overthrown. Out of bounds. Intended for Sam Arnold. It stops the clock under 12 minutes at 11:17, so it brings us to another media timeout. William Peace with a 17-14 lead on Averett here at the Herm. Pacers with a 17-14 lead. Right around 9 minutes into this contest. 11:17 left on the clock in the first half. They're shooting 4 of 9 from three-point range. Good for about 44.5%. Averett with the ball now, trying to forge their way through the backcourt against this three-quarters trap defensively run by the Pacers. James Contreras makes his way into the front court after a couple of passes. Deals right side for the Cougars. Back to the left now is Kettner. Dribbles to the top of the key, pulls up the lefty three. It rattles in and out, looked to be tipped in, and I believe that is the call for two. Official score giving a 2-point jumper to Kettner good, so maybe it wasn't touched. It looked to me like it was tipped in after it sat on the rim for a little bit. 17-16, a 1-point Pacers lead. 10 on the shot clock. Gupton dribbles right side through a screen, pulls up the three. It rolls off the front of the rim and is boarded by Moi. He's fouled immediately by Dunlap in the backcourt. It's Moi's second rebound, the big man. First personal foul for Dunlap. That is the third team foul for William Peace here in the first half. Pacers lead by 1, 17-16, 10:22 until halftime. Kettner and Contreras bring it up the floor for Averett. Contreras, no points today. He averages over 22. Drive to the right side is Vinny Contreras. Puts up a layup. It's boarded on the left wing and put back in by Diaby after a spin move and a right-handed layup. 1 point Averett lead now at 18-17. 9:55 until halftime. Dunlap gets a handoff from Gupton. Gupton now dribbling at the perimeter and is slapped on the arm. That'll be charged against Ian Best, the sophomore. Nine minutes, 48 seconds left, and Joshua Jones to trigger it in front of the Averett bench for the Pacers. Top of the key to Gupton. Drive right, Ferguson fakes a three from the corner. Dishes back up top to Jones. Pointing left. Wants Dunlap to post up. Gives it to him at the elbow. 5 on the shot clock. Jones to Bryant in the right corner again, and Bryant forced to take another three, and it's short off the near side of the rim. Averett now forward to James Contreras. Pro hop in the lane, puts up the layup, and it's off the back of the iron. Rebound pulled in by Smith Gupton, but he had a foot out of bounds at the baseline, and it goes back to Averett. Head coach Claude Shields all over the floor these past couple of possessions. Barking instructions to his team as Paul Dunlap will check out in favor of Tyson Sellers re-entering the contest. Averett with a 1 point lead, 18-17, 9:18 left on the clock in the first half. Inbound cleared toward midcourt to James Contreras. Smith Gupton on him as he dribbles to the right wing. Screen on the left side. Contreras now trapped by Bryant and Gupton. Nowhere to go. He zips a pass to midcourt. It ends up on the floor. Diaby picks up, hands off to Contreras. The long two is no good. Putback attempt by Burnett. Smacked off the backboard. Contreras comes away with the long rebound and walks as he enters the inside of the perimeter. Turned over by Contreras with 8:51 to play in the first half, and it goes back to William Peace, who's 5 on the floor. It goes as follows. Bryant and Gaylord bringing it up the floor. Ferguson, Sellers, and Jones awaiting them in the front court. Gaylord reaches the three-point line, gives to Bryant. One dribble, drives right side, floats it in for two. Through contact, he hit the floor hard. No call, but it's a 1 point lead for the Pacers, 19-18. 8.5 minutes until halftime. Burnett gives to Kessner. Top of the key. Now Contreras driving from the left side of the lane. Underneath, Kettner to the far corner for three. It's drilled by Cochran right in front of the Pacers bench. And Cougars lead by 2 now. Ferguson with 8:08 on the clock. Bounces a pass to the left side. Sellers with a jab step. Dekes his man and drives it, banking it in with his right. 21 all with just under 8 to play in the first. Burnett out to Kettner. Fakes the three from the top of the circle. Drives right. Misses short on the jumper, and Bryant there for the rebound. Had Diaby boxed out and reels it in for the Pacers. Ferguson, hand off to Jones on the right wing. Bryant receives the pass, banks it in from the right side of the lane and draws the foul. 23-21, it's a 2 point Pacers lead with 7 minutes, 37 seconds to play in the first half, so that means immediate timeout, but it also means Trey Bryant will go to the free throw line for the second time today. This time he'll only get one attempt, as he was 1 for 2 in his other trip earlier. 5 points for Trey Bryant now on 2 of 5 shooting. And he'll look to get 3 the hard way. 4 rebounds for Bryant as well, along with Trey McLean. He leads the team. Tyson Sellers quietly leads all scorers with 7. 3 of 4 shooting, including 1 of 2 from deep. And And the Pacers already have led this game a couple of times by as many as 7, now by 2. At 23-21, 7:37 left to play in the first half. And thus far, they've held the Cougars' leading scorer, James Contreras, scoreless. Averages just over 22 points per game. Contreras 0 for 4 from the field with a turnover. We break huddles, and Bryant makes his way to the free throw line. Updated number, he shoots 60% even on the season. His lone attempt on its way and just rolls off the left side of the rim. Cochran there to squeeze the rebound, and it goes to Averett. 7.5 minutes to play. Pacers lead by 2. Burnett. Head fake to the right. Gives top of the circle to Contreras. Cochran on the left wing. Pro hop in the lane. Puts it up with his right, and it rolls off the backside of the iron. Rebounded by Tyson Sellers, and the Pacers will slowly make their way up the floor. Handoff to Gaylord. Drives left side. Jones for 3 from the left. Off the back of the rim. High rebound pulled in by Bryant. The putback off the top of the glass is in as he lost his footing on the way back to the other side of the court. But it's a 4-point Pacers lead. 25-21. Contreras drives and deals left side. Vince Contreras to James on the right block. Underneath. He floats it up. It's off the bottom of the rim, and Bryant, through a struggle, gains the rebound. Outlet pass pulled in by Cochran. So Cougars now with an opportunity. It's dished to the center of the floor, and Burnett goes up for 2, drawing the foul. They thought the Pacer bench did. They had a charge. As Bryant was there set underneath the basket, but Burnett will go to the free throw line with William Peace ahead by 4. Burnett's first is off the left side of the rim and out. Shooting right at 70% on the season. Burnett averages 6.5 points and an assist per game. His second of 2 attempts on its way. Nothing but net. Makes it a 3-point game, 25-22, 6:38 remaining in the first half. Burnett checks out of the contest. In comes TJ McAllister, the junior from Fayetteville. So he'll see the floor for the first time today. Mikal Gaylord across the timeline for the Pacers. Sellers at the top of the wing. Right side, plenty of space. He goes ahead and pulls the 3 off back iron. DeLucia gets the rebound in the corner. It's knocked away by Sellers and out of bounds. Great hustle by Sellers to follow his own shot, but it goes back to Averett. Mikal Gaylord jogs over to help his teammate Sellers off the floor after the hustle play. McAllister into the front court, crosses from right to left, deals a pass to Contreras. Vince Contreras on the left wing, drives, loses his handle on the way up to the basket, and it's taken away by Gaylord. Gupton to Sellers from right wing to left. Joshua Jones catches and drives through the center of the lane. Out to Sellers for 3. Yes, it rolls in. Pacers with a 28-22 lead. 5:49 to play in the first half. Cochran settles on the right wing. Passes to the center of the court. It's stolen away by Sam Arnold. Gupton now with it for the Pacers. Goes right side to Gaylord. Stutter step, crosses from left to right. Puts a floater from the free throw line. It's in and out. Rebound attempt tried for by Cochran of Averett. He knocks it out of bounds to give it back to the Pacers underneath their own basket. Gaylord and Sellers will check out. McLean and Ferguson back into the contest. Neither have scored. Both 0 for 2 from the field, including a 3-point attempt each. Ferguson on the inbound. Goes to Gupton, top of the circle. Chest pass to Jones on the right wing. It's defended by Cochran. Back up to Ferguson. Tightly defended by DeLucia, so he deals left to Gupton. High screen, dribbles right, gives to McLean on the left wing. Behind the back dribble, loses his man and floats it up with his right. It rolls in for two. McLean's on the board. It's 30-22. McAllister quickly sprints the length of the floor. Put up a layup attempt but was fouled at the perimeter prior to the shot attempt. As that's called against Smith Gupton, his first personal, 15 foul on the Pacers with 5:03 until the half. Vince Contreras on the inbound pass, skies it to the center of the floor where McAllister directs traffic, dribbling right, drives left side into the lane, kicks to Cochran, the three, on a line off the back of the rim, and the rebound knocked out of bounds, last touched by Contreras. It'll go back to the Pacers. Cochran checks out of the contest for Averett. And Arnold and Gupton bring it up the floor for the Pacers. Arnold dribbles to the right wing, hands to Ferguson. Jab step, puts up the three. It's long off the far side of the rim and skids out of bounds at the far corner. Back to Cougar possession goes. 30-22, an 8-point Pacers lead. 4 minutes, 35 left to play in the first half. Best hands to DeLucia, back to Best, who dribbles toward the left wing. Jones on him for the Pacers. Dribbles inside to the baseline, hand to DeLucia, left wing three. All bottom of the net for Austin DeLucia, and he brings it within 5. 30-25, William Peace leads. Gupton dribbles through his legs, drives left side, and he was held all the way by T.J. McAllister. Whistle blown. And the Pacers will have ball underneath the basket. Gupton made his way initially to the free throw line thinking he was rewarded the foul on the shot. McAllister's first personal was the fourth team foul on the Cougars. One Contreras into the game for another. James replaces Vince for Averett. Inbound goes to the left corner. McLean drives baseline and is pushed. Again, another foul on McAllister. That's his second in just about as many seconds. Tyson Sellers, Paul Dunlap back into the contest for the Pacers. Arnold and Jones out. Inbound pass goes to the left block. Dunlap dishes back to the corner. Gupton's three is off the far side and reeled in by DeLucia. Outlet pass goes to Best on the near sideline. Back to DeLucia, top of the circle. Long on the three-point shot attempt, and the rebound pulled in by Gupton right at the free throw line. Back to the Pacers it goes with 3:40 to play in the first. Dribbles to his right after a crossover. Overhead pass to Dunlap, now to Sellers on the right side. He drives through the right side of the lane, sneaks a pass to the left block, and an easy lay-in for Paul Dunlap. 32-25, 7-point Pacers lead, 3:20 to play in the first half of action. DeLucia dribbles around the perimeter from left to right, hands to James Contreras, back up top. McAllister for three, it rolls in off the right side of the rim. He bangs his chest and points toward the sky, but the Pacers get an easy pass inside on the other end to Paul Dunlap, who was all alone. Hesitated just enough to draw contact in the foul. So now Dunlap will go to the free throw line to shoot two, but not before the under 4 media timeout. 3 minutes, 2 seconds on the clock. 32-28, a 4-point lead for William Peace here in the first half. final home game of the regular season for the William Peace University Pacers. And they hold a 4-point lead on the Cougars of Averett, 32-28, 3 minutes, 2 seconds remaining in the first half at the Herman Athletic Center. Couple of free throws on the way for Paul Dunlap after being fouled by Louis Patrick Mois. Mois' first personal is team foul number 6 on Averett. As Dunlap, a couple of field goals made so far in this one. Gets his first free throw attempt of the day. It's in, second on the way. Rolls in and out off the right side of the rim, so he goes 1 for 2 in that trip and makes it 33-28, a 5-point lead as we tick under 3 minutes to play until halftime. Kettner hands, Burnett driving left side of the lane, bounces to McAllister in the corner, and he walked before dribbling through his legs. He's hearing it from the Pacers student section, which was placed right behind him. A couple of them in togas, as a matter of fact, taking to their feet to heckle McAllister after the turnover. 33-28, Pacers into the front court. Gaylord from the right side gives to Ferguson. Long on the three-point shot attempt from the wing. And the rebound pulled in by Ian Best. James Contreras, still scoreless, receives a pass in the front court. Throw hop in the lane. It rims out his layup attempt, but he draws contact and a whistle. Personal foul on Paul Dunlap as Contreras will go to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the first time tonight. Contreras now 0 for 5 from the field with a turnover. He's one of the better free throw shooters in the conference, 81.5%, as his first sails through no problem to make it 33-29, a 4-point lead for the Pacers. McLean and Ferguson check out of the contest for William Peace. Sam Arnold and Joshua Jones back in. Contreras' second is good as well, so he's on the board for the first time. 2 points for the man who averages over 22 per game. Pacers break the press. Dunlap hands as he receives the pass in the air to Sam Arnold, who jams it with one hand to give the Pacers a 5-point lead, 35-30. And defensively, Dunlap pushes his way through a screen and commits another foul for the Pacers. Some jawing going on at midcourt as both teams trying to get in their respective huddles. And this Pacers crowd loving the attitude following a Paul Dunlap foul. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left to play in half number 1. Sellers smiling at the Averett huddle, clapping his hands before going to the Pacers huddle as a timeout called by the Cougars bench. Head coach David Doino in his 4th season at the helm wants to make sure he has the cooler heads prevailing in this situation. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left in half number 1, 35-30. Dunlap's foul was number 7 on the Pacers as a team. So to result in a sequence of 1 and 1. Dunlap checks out, Ferguson back into the game for the Pacers. Dunlap's 3rd personal sends Ian Best to the free throw line for the Cougars. Just 13 attempts from the line so far this season. It's off the back of the rim. He's now 10 of 14 on the year. Pass from Jones to the left block. Arnold can't get the layup to fall for the Pacers. Rebound goes down to Best in transition. No-look bouncer to the left side, and Contreras lays it in. Now with 4 points, the leading scorer for Averett on the season. Makes it a 3-point game, 32-35 for the Pacers. Gaylord at the top of the circle, goes Ferguson on the right side. 1.5 minutes left until halftime. Sellers fakes right, drives left, back out to Gaylord. Pump fake at the free throw line, they go right. Sellers for 3, nothing but net from the corner. And in Tyson Sellers fashion, he backpedals to defense with his tongue out of his mouth, and a lot of excitement out of this Pacers crowd. Kicked ball violation on the pass to the left side. Will stop the clock again at 1:12 in the first half, and a timeout called. Averett will have a toss in underneath their own basket. 30-second TO taken by head coach Claude Shields of the Pacers, who lead 38-32. 72 seconds left until the halftime buzzer. Sellers now 3 of 5 from deep. Leads all scorers with 13. As a matter of fact, he's the only player in double figures. He and Austin DeLucia of the Cougars, the only players with multiple triples to fall. Sellers 3 for 5, as I mentioned. DeLucia 2 for 5. And has 6 points, tied for the team lead for Averett with Burnett. Contreras on the inbound pass. Bounces underneath. Nearly lost by Diaby. He regains it, but has his shot rejected and reeled in by Sam Arnold. Gaylord off the outlet pass. Goes to Jones, left corner 3. Air ball that skied over the rim and was pulled in by Kettner. Under a minute until the half. Contreras, stutter step, pulls up from 15 feet. Air balls, rebounded by Diaby. He tried to save it from going out of bounds, and it goes to Sellers. Pacers now with it in transition. Sellers from the left wing. Crosses up his man Cochran. Can't get the layup to fall. It's off the near side of the rim. And boarded by Kettner of the Cougars. Burnett drives left side, but not before carrying the basketball. And the turnover gives it back to William Peace with 34.6 seconds on the clock. And a 38-32 William Peace lead. Sam Arnold will trigger in the inbound pass to Mikhail Gaylord, as Gaylord walks it across midcourt. Looking back toward head coach Claude Shields. They're going to run off some clock here. About a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. 13 to shoot for the Pacers. Sellers on the right side. Crossover in the lane. Gives the mid-range jumper. Sam Arnold misses off the left side of the backboard. Contreras pulls it in with 7 on the clock. Sprinting down the floor. Hands off to Burnett, who's fouled as he attempts the layup. And will shoot a couple of free throws with 3 seconds left in the first half. And the Pacers leading 38-32. Joshua Jones charged with the personal foul. Team foul number 8 on the Pacers, though I doubt it will matter in the remaining 3 seconds following Burnett's free throws. The front end, off back of the iron, and no good for Burnett. He's now just 2 for 5 from the stripe today. His second on the way, rolls in to make it 38-33. 3.2 seconds on the clock, and the Pacers will have an inbound from their backcourt. Sellers bounces it in to Gaylord. Sprinting from the opposite side of the floor, well short on the long three-point heave, and that'll send us into the locker room. Pacers leading by 5, 38-33. Fueled by the play of Tyson Sellers. He's 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 5 from three-point range. The only player in double figures. James Contreras Jr., the leading scorer coming into this contest for Averett, averages just over 20 points per game. Just 1 for 7 from the field. The Pacers have held him to 4 points in the first half. A commendable defensive effort for William Peace through 20 minutes of action. We've got 20 left, and the Pacers with a 38-33 lead here at halftime. We'll take a halftime break and resume play in about 14 minutes here on the Pacers Sports Network. Back with you for the second half of action. Darren Vaught on the Pacers Sports Network here at the Herman Athletic Center. William Peace with a 38-33 lead over the Cougars of Averett University. We switch sides. Cougars now shooting to the basket to my left as Burnett brings it up to the three-point line. Dishes underneath to the block. Step back on a quick two by James Contreras. He now has 6 as the leading scorer on the season for Averett, and it's 38-35. Tyson Sellers dribbles to the center of the court from the left wing, dials up a three. It's no good off the back of the rim. Offensive rebound by Smith-Gupton. Back to Sellers on the left wing. He drives, waves the ball around in the air like a wand. Can't get the finger roll to go as it rolls off the front of the rim. Averett on the other end. Burnett for three. Drops in, nothing but net. Tie game all of a sudden. 38-all on a 5-0 quick run for Averett to start the second half. Sellers has it stolen away. Harrison Cochran forwards the pass to James Contreras, who's fouled as he goes up toward the rack. Smith-Gupton's personal foul, the first on the Pacers in the second half. Gupton personally has 2 fouls. And Contreras goes to the free throw line to shoot 2, shooting 81.5% from the stripe this season. We're only a minute into the second half. 18:59 on the clock. Contreras sinks his first free throw, giving the Cougars a 1-point lead. That's their first lead since the 8:22 mark in the first half. Contreras 2 for 2 in the trip as that one rolls through. 40-38. Averett with the lead. 18:55 left in the contest. Gupton dribbles through his legs. Chest pass to the left side to Trey Bryant. Jones deals right side. Now into the corner to Sam Arnold. The Pacers go and back toward midcourt. Gupton resets the offense. 10 on the shot clock after a bounce pass to the left elbow. Bryant drives right side underneath Diaby and sends the layup attempt well over the rim. It's rebounded by Kettner, and here comes Averett. Kettner for 3 from the right wing. That one rolls in. 43-38. It's a 10-0 run to open the second half for the visiting Cougars. Gupton, bounce pass outside to the right. Joshua Jones' 3 rattles in and out, but Sam Arnold grabs the offensive board and clears it back up top to Gupton. 22 to shoot. Gupton taking his time. 2 minutes now into the second half with 18 remaining. Gupton, high screen from Bryant, drives left side, tosses it off the top of the backboard, but receives a foul as Diaby tomahawked Gupton on the back of the head. And it sends Smith-Gupton to the free throw line to shoot 2. 17:56 left in the game. 43-38 lead for Averett as the Cougars have been on a 10-0 run to open the second half. The Pacers with their first point of the second stanza finally as Gupton drops the free throw in. 43-39 now, a 4-point deficit for the Pacers. Gupton's second, missed his back iron. It was in the hands of Trey Bryant but knocked away, and the rebound finally obtained by James Contreras, so Averett will reverse the court. 17:45 left. Burnett dribbling at the right wing. Cougars with a 4-point lead. Cochran drives left side, dumps underneath. Diaby lays it in, and it's 45-39 Averett. Joshua Jones receives a pass on the left wing. Sticks it up top to Trey Bryant. Handoff to Gaylord. Penetration out to Jones for 3. Ripped to the bottom of the net. Jones now with his second 3-point make. Makes it a 3-point game. 45-42 Cougars. Burnett drives. Overhead pass. Meant for a Diaby on the right block. Sails over his head. Tough to do. The big man 6 foot 6 inches tall. Couldn't reach it. And it goes out of bounds to give it back to the Pacers. 17:08 to play. 45-42 Cougars lead. Gaylord running point guard for William Peace. Dishes left. Again, Jones catch and shoot the 3. Rattles in and out. Rebound, batted up in the air and pulled in by Ferguson. Gaylord drives left side, back outside to Jones. Back to Gaylord to Jones, and on the block to Bryant. Spins around Diaby, floats it up, nothing but net, and the foul. Bryant will try to get three the hard way and brings it within one, 45-44. Averett with the lead. The foul was committed by Louis Patrick Moua, who had subbed into the game for Diaby. That's Moua's second, team second for the Cougars, as Bryant's free throw kisses the front of the rim and rolls through. 45 all. Cochran into the front court for the Cougars. 16:35 left to play. Bounce to the right side. Moua, a two-hopper, back to the left side. Cochran stutters, dribbles to the right side. Gives to Vince Contreras on the right wing. Dribbles into the free throw line and puts up the floater. It's no good off the front of the rim. Bryant with the rebound, and he's fouled. Vince Contreras and Trey Bryant in each other's faces after that personal foul called, as Contreras would not stop bothering Bryant even after the whistle. And the benches retreat. But just for a second, as it'll be William Peace ball following the foul. Contreras' first personal is the third team foul on Averett with 16:20 to play. And a tie ball game, 45 points apiece. Gaylord across the timeline on the far sideline. Dribbling with his left. Goes to the left corner. Jones, pump fake on the three. Now penetrates. Picks up at the elbow. Bounce pass to the baseline. Ferguson finds Dunlap in the left corner. The three is good. 48-45 as we're under 16 to play. Cougars with it into the front court. Cochran hands to Contreras. He's trapped by Bryant and Ferguson. Spins out of that and deals to Cochran on the left wing. Three-point shot attempt off the back of the iron. And a foul called as a rebound attempt sought after by both Bryant and Cochran, but it was off of the ball. Charged to Paul Dunlap of the Pacers. And the stoppage in play brings us to the media timeout. 15:43 left here at the Herm. It's 48-45. Your William Peace Pacers on top for the time being. William Peace 48, Averett 45 here at the Herman Athletic Center. 15 minutes, 43 seconds remaining. And it's getting a little chippy on the floor between the Pacers and Cougars. As we resume play following the first media timeout of the second half. Ian Best on the inbound pass for Averett underneath their own basket. Clears it to center court. James Contreras catches. Jump pass to the left side, avoiding the trap to DeLucia. Handoff back to Contreras. Crossover at top of the key. Hands to DeLucia. The three rips the bottom of the net. That's his third make from deep, and it's tied at 48. 15:20 to play. Gaylord traverses the length of the court and draws the foul on the layup attempt. Vince Contreras charged with his second personal. That's the fourth team foul already on Averett, and it sends Mikhail Gaylord to the free throw line. These teams met just 2 days ago in Danville, and Gaylord led the Pacers in scoring with 19. Steps up to the free throw line for the first time today, his first of 2, rolls in and gives him his first point of the contest. Gaylord, a sophomore out of Durham, North Carolina, has really come on strong in the second leg of the season for William Peace, providing great depth in the backcourt. Gaylord's second of 2, drilled nothing but net, and he'll remain in the contest. Looked like Trey McLean was going to replace Gaylord. Instead, he'll grab Camden Ferguson and give Ferguson a breather. 50-48 Pacers, 15-15 left. Ian Best across midcourt, has it stolen. Trey McLean was fouled at midcourt with a wide open lane. McLean wanted the one-handed jam on the fast break, and Claude Shields is perplexed by that call. He's got his arms shrugged upward because essentially it bailed Averett out of a basket. Gaylord on the inbound. Drives center of the lane, gives right side to McLean. Dumped underneath. Bryant has it stolen away. Ian Best comes up with it for the Cougars. Vince Contreras driving, switches hands in midair and drops it in. Nothing but net in transition. Nice move by Contreras to tie it up at 50. 14:47 to play. Jones drives right, gives to Gaylord in the corner, but not before an offensive foul called. Jones, with his second personal foul, commits his first turnover and will check out in favor of Smith Gupton at the whistle. 14 minutes, 45 seconds left in the second half, and we're knotted up at 50 points apiece. Averett brings it into the front court. Handoff to DeLucia at the left elbow. Hard chest pass right side. Contreras, stutter step, crosses from left to right, drives baseline, but he stepped out of bounds. Turnover gives it back to the Pacers, as Sam Arnold now comes in for Trey Bryant for William Peace. Mua checks out for Averett. Back in is the senior Kettner. Gaylord and McLean begin the offensive journey for the Pacers. Gaylord dumps it underneath. Arnold back out to the left corner, 3 by Smith Gupton. Off the front of the cylinder and boarded by Averett. Vince Contreras drives through the lane, puts up a floater, but a charge called on Contreras. McLean was there, feet set the entire time, and Contreras forced his way into the lane, committing his third personal foul and turning it back over to William Peace. "14 minutes left, knotted up at 50 points apiece. Gaylord slips the seam in the defense, drives right side, gives to Sellers for 3 in the left corner, and it's in. His fourth made triple, and Tyson Sellers makes it 53-50 William Peace. They batted away defensively on the other side. And Averett will trigger it in front of their own bench. Ian Best on the inbound, gives to Contreras. Hesitation in the left corner, spins between 2 defenders, lays it up, and it just rolls over top of the basket. Foul called. It'll be against McLean of the Pacers, and James Contreras will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. He's 4 of 4 from the stripe, just 2 of 8 from the field, and has labored his way up to 8 points on the night, despite great defense collectively being played against him by William Peace. First of 2 attempts is in. Contreras with 9. He makes it 53-51 with 13:40 to play. His second up, sticks to the front of the rim and falls through. So Contreras now 6 of 6 from the free throw line. He owns a school record with 16 free throws made in a single contest. 1 point lead for William Peace. McLean from the right corner, gives up top. Sellers drives through the right side of the lane, has it poked away, and it's stolen by TJ McAllister. inside the three-point line. Passes outward, and it's stolen by Trey McLean. He's fouled on his way up. A very purposeful two-handed foul committed by Averett, as it was Jamal Ford, the sophomore. For his first personal foul, McLean will go to the free throw line to shoot two. His first attempt from the stripe of the night. Rims out of the right side. As it's 53-52 with 13-19 to play. Coach Shields of William Peace receiving an explanation perhaps as to why McLean's foul against him was not an intentional foul. Meanwhile, McLean misses off back of the iron, so he's 0 for 2 in that trip, and Averett comes away with the rebound. Ford on the right wing. At the perimeter, floats underneath to Contreras, who's too strong on the layup from the right side. Rebound to Gaylord. Bounces it to the near sideline. Gupton through his legs, dribbles. Defended by McAllister, bounces underneath. Intended for Sam Arnold, but Kettner comes away with the steal and forwards a pass to McAllister. From the left wing, Ford receives a handoff back to McAllister, who drives left side, puts it up with his right. It sails over the rim, but the foul prior to is on the floor, committed by Gaylord. That's Mikhail Gaylord's second personal foul and the fifth team foul. And some confusion for the officials. That's team foul number 5 for the Pacers. Averett has 7, so in that scenario it would have been 1-1 for William Peace, but foul was on the floor and they immediately toss it in, and it's right into the hands of Trey McLean. In transition, left side, Ferguson short on the three, but Bryant with the offensive rebound. Back out to McLean, right wing three by Gupton, rolls in and out, but a tip in for Mikhail Gaylord. He was left all alone. 55-52, a three-point Pacers lead with 12:10 to play. Contreras directing traffic on the right wing, gives to Ford at the top of the circle. Now in Burnett's hands on the left wing. Crosses, drives left side on Cam Ferguson. And Ferguson commits the foul. But it's on the floor. Team foul number 6 for the Pacers. And again, it will be an inbound at the baseline for Averett. Gaylord with the offensive rebound, his third board. The tip in, points 3 and 4. Ferguson with his first personal foul, and now that we're at the 12-minute mark exactly to play in the second half, we take the media timeout with it. 55-52, William Peace with a 3-point lead. As they have both Tyson Sellers and Trey Bryant in double figures. 16 points for Sellers on 4 of 7 from 3. Trey Bryant has scored 10. Pulled in 8 rebounds and registered a block defensively for William Peace. Pacers 3 of 9 from three-point range here in the second half. It was a 10-0 run to open up the second in favor of Averett. Since then, it's been a 17-9 leveling by William Peace. Ford on the inbound pass, overheads it high in the air to Cochran, received at midcourt. Bounce to Contreras, right side, he gives to Kettner and sets a screen. Burnett now with it on the left wing, crossover, he dribbles right. Dishes to Ford in the right corner. That three rolls in and out off the front side of the rim. Sellers pulls in the rebound. Jarred between a couple of Averett players. In transition, they go to Gupton for three from the left wing. It rips the net. 58-52, a 6-point Pacers lead. No-look pass into the lane. Ford can't hit the right-handed layup. Gaylord with the rebound. Gets the pass to Jones on the far sideline into front court. And as he pulls it down, had to go up in the air for it. He's fouled by Burnett. And that's team foul number 8 on Averett. So Jones goes to the free throw line to shoot 1 and 1. Not ideal for Averett defensively. Burnett's second personal foul. And Joshua Jones to the free throw line for the first time tonight. He's 2 of 6 from 3 with 6 points. 3 assists. Leads the way in that category for the Pacers. His first of 2 is in nothing but net to make it 59-52, 11 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in the second half. Jones, not many free throw attempts on the season. That was just his 19th, his 20th on the way. Rolls in as he shoots about 67% on the season. 2 for 2 in that trip, 60-52, the lead for the Pacers. Burnett gets a high screen, sends up a long 2. It's off the far side of the rim, skipped over the basket, pulled in with one arm by Cochran. And his arm is met by Tyson Sellers, who commits the foul for the Pacers. It's number 2 on Sellers. 7th on the Pacers as a team, so 1 and 1 at the free throw line for Harrison Cochran. Shoots 84%, best free throw shooter on the team for Averett, and it thuds off the front of the rim. Sellers brings in the board for William Peace. To Jones at the top of the circle. Waves his arms up in the air as if to fake a 3. Gives right side McLean a fake pass into the lane through his legs. Dishes to Bryant for the long 2 at the right baseline, and it's off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Contreras, and Bryant tried to catch him from behind, committing the foul as he reached in for the basketball. And that, if you're the Pacers, is not what you want to do. Send the leading scorer on the season for Averett all the way across the floor to shoot free throws. 10 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. And that's Trey Bryant's 3rd personal foul. (60-52), the lead for the Pacers. 10 minutes, 50 seconds. And it sounds to me like the deliberation at midcourt here was that they were unsure of how many team fouls Bryant had. It's clearly 3 in the official stats, so we resume play. Contreras nails the first free throw to make it a 7-point Pacers lead, 60-53. Contreras 81.5% at the line, buries the second, and has reached double figures. He's got 12 points, mainly because he's 8 for 8 from the line. Otherwise, the Pacers doing a really good job mitigating the effects of the only double-digit scorer by average that the Cougars have. McLean drives right side, is bodied up by DeLucia on his way to the basket. Sends a layup attempt sailing over the rim, but he'll get a couple of free throws after DeLucia commits his 3rd personal. Team foul number 9 on the Cougars, but McLean with it on the shot would have been shooting 2 anyway. 10 minutes, 37 seconds left in the second half. And McLean to the line where he was 0 for 2 his first trip. That one skips hard off the left side of the rim. 0 for 3 now. Trey McLean at the free throw line. Nothing but net on his second try. Finally gets one to fall through. He's 1 for 4 on the night. He makes it a 7-point lead again for the Pacers, 61-54. Burnett dribbles behind his back before giving to DeLucia. Pass underneath, back to Burnett. It's knocked away, stolen by the Pacers. McLean hands to Sellers, whose shot is swatted against the backboard by DeLucia. Averett goes up the floor. Burnett can't get the layup to fall. He was all alone in the front court. And Jones recovers for the rebound for William Peace. Jones picks up his dribble at the right wing. Cutting, Gaylord, wide open, left wing. Tyson Sellers way too strong on the 3. and it's batted in the air by Paul Dunlap, who commits the personal foul. Diaby had position, and a whistle blown with exactly 10 minutes left in the second half. Buzzer sounds. We're still yet to see who exactly the foul was charged to. Again, I assume it was Paul Dunlap, but no official designation. It is, in fact, Paul Dunlap. That's number 5 on him, so he'll have to exit. Trey Bryant comes back into the contest with 3 personal fouls. And Dunlap's day ends with 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Really what was a productive day scoring. For Paul Dunlap. First free throw from Diaby is good. He has 7 points, a second on the way, as it's 61 to 55, 56 now for Averett. A 5-point lead for William Peace as we just tick under 10 minutes to play. Gaylord stops at the 3-point line, gives to his left to McLean. Hand off to Sellers, cutting through the lane. Goes baseline on the right side to Gaylord, lost his handle. It was picked up by Bryant, and DeLucia dives after the ball at Bryant's feet, committing his 4th personal foul. That's number 10 on Averett, and Bryant will go to the line to shoot 2 this time. 9:43 left in the game. Gaylord to the free throw line to shoot 2. It rattles in. 62 to 56, 9:43 to play. Gaylord's second of 2 free throws. He's on the way. Hits the front of the rim and rolls in. 63-56, 9:40 to play. Contreras catches a pass in the front court for Averett and gives to Burnett to reset the offense. 20 to shoot for the Cougars. DeLucia swings to Cochran on the right wing. Bounce pass at the elbow. Contreras, pump fake. Drives in and pulls up from the block, banking it in for 2 as he was defended by Trey Bryant. 5-point Pacers lead now, 63-58. Gaylord dishes to the right wing, 9:14 left on the clock. Sellers back up top of the circle to McLean, and a handoff to Gaylord. Dribbles to his left, gives Jones, pump fake on the 3. Floater from the baseline, sails over top of the rim. Battle for the rebound between Bryant and DeLucia, and it's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Bryant is the ruling. It'll go to Averett with 9:01 to play. Trey McLean checks out of the contest for the Pacers. Back in is Smith Gupton. Contreras into the front court, now operating the point guard spot for Averett. Vince Contreras, his brother, back into the contest as well. On the left block, Cochran gives out to Vince Contreras. To James on the right side. Bounce pass underneath on the block to Diaby. Backing down his man, Bryant, banks it in with 3 on the shot clock. Bryant was stumbling backward. And it's now just a 1-possession game. 63-60, William Peace with the lead, 8:20 to play. Gaylord on the right wing. Zips a pass to the top of the key. Sellers through his legs, dribbles, and gives to Gaylord at center court. 12 on the shot clock. As Gaylord finally moves forward. High screen from Bryant. Drives right side, puts up the floater. Bank shot can't fall. It's off the front of the rim. Diaby with the rebound. He clears it forward to Contreras. Pro hop in the lane, and he lays it in for 2 with his right. That was Vince Contreras, reeling it within 1. 7:50 to play. 63-62. William Peace leads, but by a very narrow margin now. 15 on the shot clock. Sellers handles at the top of the key. To Bryant, back to Sellers. Jabs left. Steps right, puts up the floater through contact, and it rolls in for 2 for Tyson Sellers. 65-62. Sellers has 18 points now. And the Pacers crowd getting into it with William Peace playing defense. Contreras goes right. DeLucia's three. Rolls in. That ties it up at 65 apiece and a timeout call. Seven minutes, 12 seconds remaining, and Averett making this one interesting. You assume down to the wire, but plenty of basketball left. As we're knotted up at 16 points, or 65 points apiece, excuse me. DeLucia now 4 of 7 from three-point range. He has 12 on the day and is one of 4 Cougars in double figures. Contreras with 14, Diaby and Burnett with 10 apiece. Averett shooting 10 of 17 from the field. Well over 50% in this second half of action. They're 4 of 6 from 3 since halftime as well. 65-65, 7 minutes, 12 seconds remain in the second half. And head coach David Doino called the timeout. It was just 30 seconds, so we'll resume play shortly as the buzzer sounds and the teams retake the floor. The 5 for William Peace will be Tyson Sellers, Joshua Jones, Trey Bryant, Sam Arnold, and Smith Gupton, the 2 in the backcourt. Gupton handling the ball across the timeline. He's near the far sideline. Vince Contreras on him. They swing right side, Sellers on the right wing. Dribbles with his left, goes to Gupton. Jones in the left corner. Zone defense being played by Averett now. Entry pass to the top of the key. Arnold out to Gupton. Threes off the front of the rim, and the rebound pulled in by Vince Contreras. To James. One dribble. Three-point shot attempt from the left wing, and it's in. Averett leads by 3, 68-65. James Contreras surging his way to 17 points in the second half. Jones receives it on the left wing. Back out to Jones from Bryant. The 3 there is good. It was on a line and ripped right through to tie us back up at 68 with 6:15 to play. Jones, now 3 of 7 from deep, has 11 points. James Contreras dribbling from the left side of the perimeter all the way to the right. Pump fake, driving the right side of the lane, puts up the right-handed finger roll. It rims out. Mua with the board. Bounces it out, and they clear it out. Cochran, then to Contreras, who's going to slow things down. He dribbles with his left, waves off a screen, goes to Vince Contreras in the left corner. That 3 is nothing but net. The Contreras is making things hard for the Pacers. 71-68. Joshua Jones for 3 from the left wing. Can't answer that time. It's rebounded by Sam Arnold. And a whistle blown as the foul is called against Kettner of the Cougars, following the Arnold board. And a timeout on the floor. Averett with a 3-point lead, 71-68. 5 minutes, 28 seconds remain. And this charged up contest, the final home game of the regular season for the William Peace Pacers. And based on their potential seeding in the USA South Conference Tournament, this will be the last contest played on this floor this year. So this is our media timeout following the Darren Kettner foul. It's his first personal. In the double bonus, so Samuel Arnold will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Interesting as I'm looking through the stats collectively in this contest. At halftime, this was the case. But it's remained true throughout the second half. Averett and William Peace have had the exact same number of possessions. which in a back-and-forth game like basketball, not too rare. 69 possessions each. But their average scoring possession lasts 15 and 16 seconds. 15 seconds for Averett, 16 for William Peace. These teams are playing at an identical pace through 34 and a half minutes of basketball. Arnold's first free throw, a lot of spin on it, but it ricochets off the back of the iron, no good. Trey McLean back into the contest. Joshua Jones out for the Pacers. Arnold's second is long off the back of the iron as well. Cochran grips the board and rips it away from the potential grasp of Trey Bryant. Back to Averett, possession goes. Contreras to Contreras. From James to Vince, the three from the right corner, rims out. And it's batted away out of bounds, last touched by Mua. Stopping the clock at 5:11 and giving possession back to the Pacers, who trail by 3, 71-68, Averett's advantage. Mikal Gaylord makes his way back in for the Pacers. He'll run point guard. Sam Arnold checks out. Gaylord gives to Gupton on the right side. Sellers left, bounces it to the corner. Gaylord back out to Sellers. Three-point shot, nothing but net. Tyson Sellers is 5 of 9 from 3, and we're knotted up again, 71. 4:40 to play. Contreras dribbles behind his back, the step back from 15 feet out. It rims in and out. Mua pulls in the board and clears it back out to Vince Contreras. Kettner receives and shoots the three from the right corner. It rims in and out. Gaylord pulls in the rebound for the Pacers. Sellers now with it, top of the circle, goes right side to Gupton. Gaylord from the right corner pulls back as the Pacers swing it left side. McLean around and back up top to Sellers. Bounce pass underneath in the lane to Bryant. Back out. Sellers, the three off the front of the rim. Gaylord pulls in the rebound after one bounce at the free throw line. He's going to step back and bridle the offense and let the Pacers crowd get into it. 3:52 remaining, 71 all. William Peace floats a pass to Gupton on the left side to McLean in the corner. Pump fake on the three, drives on Kettner. One-handed pass to Sellers, drives, dumps it underneath to Bryant, whose shot's blocked away and pulled in at the far corner by Vince Contreras. Averett now to reset with 3.5 minutes remaining. 71-71. Vince dribbles through his legs, drives, dishes out, Kettner's three. Rattles out. Again, no good. Mua batted the ball out to the perimeter, and a foul called on Tyson Sellers as he does so. Media timeout on the floor. Mua banging his chest as he makes his way to the Averett bench. With a timeout called and 3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining. 71 points apiece for the visiting Cougars of Averett and your William Peace Pacers. We'll take a quick timeout with them on the Pacers Sports Network. Louis Patrick Mua to the free throw line for Averett. As it's a tie ball game, 71-71, 3 minutes, 19 seconds remaining following the media timeout and Tyson Sellers' second personal foul. Jones back into the game, exiting the huddle for the Pacers. He replaces Smith Gupton. Muaw's first free throw hits the right side of the rim and rolls through. He's on the board for the first time today, 1 of 1 from the stripe. Lewis Patrick Muaw's second attempt, high arcing and falls through. Only one make from the free throw line prior to that visit. He was 1 of 4 on the season. Nailed both in a crucial setting. 73-71 Averett lead. Gaylord handling the ball for the Pacers. Drives right side. A nifty scoop shot, banks it in softly under the arm of his defender Vince Contreras, and we're tied at 73 with 3 to play. Cochran handling the ball for Averett. Gets a screen right from Diaby. Pump fake at the block. Spins and backing away. Banks it in. Got Sellers in the air and gives Averett a 2-point lead. 2:44 to play. Sellers drives left side. Tried to bounce it outside and it's stolen away. Vince Contreras in the front court. Alters his shot, misses, but it rattles out and into the hands of DeLucia, whose tip-in is good. 77-73. 2.5 minutes left. William Peace trailing by 4. Taking their time, looking for the right shot as they hand to Gaylord to reset the offense. 13 on the shot clock. He dribbles right. Bryant waving his arms up in the air in the lane. Instead, Gaylord kicks to the left side. McLean passes up the 3. They give to Sellers at the top of the key. Three-pointer at the shot clock. He nails it. Sellers brings it within 1 with his 6th make from deep. It's 77-76. A 1-point Averett lead with 2:03 to play. What you thought was going to be an absolutely broken possession for William Peace ends in elation as a timeout is called by Claude Shields, the head pacer, with 2:04 to play. I could not think of a better finale to basketball season for us here at the Herman Athletic Center. 77-76 with 2 minutes remaining. Averett ball. They lead by 1. Burnett and DeLucia into the front court. Burnett hands to Contreras. They give to Cochran. Back to Contreras on the left wing. He has it knocked away by Gaylord. Tried to retain it, but stepped out of bounds at the corner. Pacers ball. Tremendous defensive effort by Mikhail Gaylord to force the turnover. 1 minute, 49 seconds left. 77-76 lead for Averett. Gaylord crosses from left to right, top of the key, gives to Sellers. Jab step to the left, drives right side, floats it up with his right through traffic. It bounces off the backside of the iron. Rebounded by Bryant and a whistle blown, foul called. Diaby commits the personal foul. He grabbed the arm of Trey Bryant, who will go to the line to shoot 2 for William Peace with 1:36 to play. That's Diaby's 3rd, as both teams in the double bonus now. Bryant with 10 points is 2 of 4 from the stripe so far tonight. A 60% shooter on the season. Floats up his first and it's in. 77 all. It's a tie ball game here at the Herm. Bryant with a second free throw on the way. It's up and sails through. Nothing but net. Clutch free throw shooting for the big man for the Pacers, and they lead by 1. 78-77. 90 seconds to play. Contreras hands to Cochran at the midcourt logo. Gets a high screen from Diaby. Pick and roll into Diaby. Pump fake inside the lane. Got Bryant in the air, and he was draped all over Diaby's back for the foul. Diaby will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. He's 2 for 2 on the free ones so far today. 10.6 boards for the 6'6" sophomore out of Fuquay-Varina. And check that, Bryant not called for the foul to go against Joshua Jones. That's his third. Diaby's first free throw, too strong off the back of the iron. And the William Peace contingent seems to think they had a little something to do with it. They're getting awfully loud. Diaby's second of 2 attempts. Drops in. 78 all, 1:15 to play, and Pacers ball. Gaylord across the timeline, dribbling with his left. Stutter step at the top of the key, gives back to Sellers, to Gaylord in the corner. Step back, passes up the opportunity to shoot, and back to midcourt. 10 seconds to shoot for the Pacers. Driving right side through the lane. Jones, right corner, 3, too strong off the far side of the rim. Boarded by DeLucia, and Averett has it. Under a minute to play, 49 seconds and ticking. 20 to shoot for Averett. Contreras at midcourt staring at the game clock. Finally puts it on the floor. Jones on him. He drives right side, spins at the top of the key, has it knocked away by Jones. Looked to be a clean block. And the call was a turnover against Averett. I couldn't quite make out what the signal was. But it will go back to William Peace. Jones had a hand on the ball on Contreras' way up. But a timeout called by the Pacers. If I'm not mistaken, it was simply a miss and a defensive rebound for Joshua Jones to give it back to William Peace. 34 seconds remaining and a tie ball game. We mentioned it earlier, just 2 days ago, it was 80-76 Averett on their home floor. And the Pacers, with a strong desire to exact revenge on the Cougars, have a chance late. There will be a 4-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, as the Pacers will have 30 to shoot, 34 remain in the contest. Bryant and Gaylord walk it up the floor and enter the front court. Gaylord dribbling inside the midcourt circle. Looks to the bench for direction. Dribbles to his right, cuts left after a screen from Bryant and pulls away. Another attempt here at an offensive set. High screen for Bryant. Crosses right. Gaylord steps back. The 3 with 3 on the shot clock. Misses. He gets his own rebound. 3 on the clock. Bounced out to Sellers, who drives baseline. Out to Gupton. And the time expires before Gupton can get a shot off. We'll go to OT here at the Herm for the first time this season. 78 all. A quick break before the extra period. Pacers and Cougars knotted up at 78 apiece. Stay with us. Bonus ball. End of regulation here at the Herm. Darren Vaught with you on the Pacers Sports Network. After 40 minutes of basketball, and we're going to continue going. I hope you know that by now. We reset the clock to 5 for overtime. 78 all between the Cougars of Averett and your William Peace University Pacers. William Peace had a chance to end it at the buzzer. Mikhail Gaylord ran out the shot clock, fired up a 3. It missed off the near side of the rim. He got his own rebound right under the basket, and the Pacers couldn't manage to get a second shot off. as we'll tip it up at center court. Diaby and Bryant, just as it was at this contest's beginning at around 7:30 p.m. Bryant smacks it backward into the hands of Trey McLean. Pacers with first possession. 4:50 left in OT. This is the Pacers' first overtime game of the season. Averett's only played in one thus far. Sellers at the top of the circle, drives left side, floats it up with his left. It's off the near side of the rim. Cochran gets the rebound. It's pulled away by the Pacers, but a late foul called against Trey Bryant as he walks his way back to his defensive position. And both teams being in the double bonus, that'll be a couple of free throws for Harrison Cochran, not the guy you want to put at the line for Averett. The freshman from Graham leads the team in free throw shooting percentage at 84. His first is up. Thuds off the front of the rim and no good. Bryant, who now has 4 personal fouls, yelling back at his teammates in their favor as he makes his way to the bench. Sam Arnold back into the game. Cochran's second rolls in and makes it 79-78, a 1-point Averett lead. 4:30 to play in OT. Gaylord for the Pacers. Swings right side. McLean catches, receives a screen from Sam Arnold, and dribbles to his left. Now gives to Sellers, 15 to shoot for the Pacers. Sellers drives right, gives to the opposite block to Sam Arnold as James Contreras hit the deck. On the other side of the floor as a whistle is blown, but it's a foul on Harrison Cochran. Committed against Sellers before the pass. So now Tyson Sellers, the game's leading scorer, goes to the free throw line for his first and second attempts of the evening. First is up off the far side of the rim and no good. Pacers just 13 of 23 from the free throw line in this game. Sellers now 0 for 1 despite his 24 points. Second drops in, nothing but net. Tie ball game, 79 points apiece. 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in OT. Burnett into the front court for Averett. Dribbles near the right side of the offense. Inside the three-point line, pulls from 15 feet, and it rattles in. 81-79, Averett, 4 minutes left. Gaylord fakes his step left, dribbles right, deals to the left side. Sellers pump fakes on the 3. Defended by Cochran. One-handed pass out to Gaylord. Crosses from left to right. Give to Jones on the right wing. Thought about a 3. Instead, hands back to Gaylord. 10 on the shot clock. Gaylord picks up at the left wing. Out to Jones for 3. Too strong. And a high rebound pulled in by Vince Contreras. He hands to James for the outlet. 3:25 left in overtime. 81-79. Averett leads to Cochran. Left wing for 3. It rattles in and out. Vince Contreras scrambles for the board. Back to Averett it goes. And back to James Contreras at the left wing. Finally puts it on the floor with his left. Gaylord on him. Screen right by Diaby. And Gaylord pushed off at the perimeter, anticipating Diaby to be there, who had pulled away from the pick. That's Gaylord's third personal. 3:05 remaining in the extra period. 81-79, a 2-point lead for the Cougars, and James Contreras Jr. to the free throw line again. His 9th attempt of the night, buried, nothing but net. He's made every single one from the stripe, and despite being 4 of 14 from the field, he's got 18 points to lead the way for Averett. 82-79, Cougars lead by 3, 3:05 left in overtime. Contreras, a little strong on his second, but it rattles in. 4-point Cougars lead. Gaylord running the offense, bounces to Sellers to the right side. Drives left, spins into the lane, and a foul on the floor. That's committed by Burnett, who's charged with his third personal. Tyson Sellers back to the line for the second time today. His first up and sails through, so he's 2 for 3 in this contest, rather. Whereas Sellers shoots 86% on the season. Second rips the bottom of the net, and it's back to a 2-point Averett lead, 83-81. 2:42 left in OT. Burnett dumps to the right block. Diaby yet to put it on the floor. Passes out right corner. James Contreras for 3. It rolls in. Nothing but net. And a dejected William Peace lineup walks back to the huddle at the timeout as Averett goes up 86-81. James Contreras, who is the third all-time leading scorer for a career in Averett Cougars history. Surpasses 22 points on the day with 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He's perfect from the free throw line and now perfect from 3. That was his second attempt. He's buried them both. That was the biggest one he's taken with 2:32 left in overtime. 86-81, Averett with the lead. Gaylord into the front court for the Pacers. Bounces to the right corner. Tyson Sellers. Been impressive shooting from deep himself this game. Dribbles to the left wing. Pulls up. Way too strong. And it sails over the rim. Airballed into the hands of Vince Contreras. Outlet pass goes to James Contreras. And the Cougars in control with 2 minutes left in OT. Chest pass to Burnett on the right wing. Dribbles through his legs. Gaylord on him. Out to Contreras at the top of the circle. 3-point shot off the front of the rim. Strong one-handed rebound by Gaylord, and here come the Pacers. Left side, Sellers drives, puts it up, loses it on his way to the basket, but a foul called against Burnett. That's his 4th, and it'll send Sellers to the free throw line. The highest shooting percentage from the stripe on the season for the Pacers. Sellers' first is in and out. Smith-Gupton out of the contest. Joshua Jones back in for the Pacers. 1:47 to play, a 5-point deficit. Sellers' second rolls in. As the 86% free throw shooter. Now 4 of 6 for the day with 28 points. 4-point lead for Averett, 1:40 left in OT. Burnett into the front court. Hands to Cochran, but it's stolen away. McLean all alone in the front court and softly drops it in. The smart play to ensure 2 points for the Pacers, and they're back within 2. 1:31 left in overtime. Timeout called. 5 points for Trey McLean now. That's his 4th steal. Full timeout on the floor, called by the Pacers. Will take a quick breather with them. 91 seconds left on the clock in overtime. Pacers trail by 2 here on the Pacers Sports Network. Pacers exit their huddle first, with Gaylord, Jones, McLean, Sellers, and Bryant taking the floor. For Averett, it'll be Cochran and Burnett to bring it up. Diaby and both Contrerases as well. Trap executed by McLean. They send it to the left side, back right. Vince Contreras with the basketball for Averett. They swung it over to the left side. Cochran for three, buries it. And the separation now is 5, 89-84. Cougars on top. And they've been extremely sharp from three-point range in the second half. 6 of 11 and 2 of 4 in OT. One minute, 14 seconds left in OT. And a 30-second timeout taken by Averett. Cochran now with 9 points on the day after his second make from distance. Pacers trail by 5. Trey Bryant will skip it in to Mikhail Gaylord to get things going. Gaylord quick to move with the basketball. Approaches the perimeter, gives left side. Sellers, hands to Joshua Jones. Fake on the three, drive right side, a bounce underneath to Bryant. Would have been good for a layup, but a foul called before the shot, which will send Joshua Jones to the line. Cochran charged with the personal foul. That's his second. Both of these teams well into the double bonus. Averett with an 89-84 lead, 1:01 to play. Jones's first free throw rattles in. He's 3 for 3 from the stripe today, now has 12 points. His second attempt is good as well. 67% shooter on the year. Goes 2 for 2 in that trip. He has 13, and it's within 3, under a minute to play. Burnett driving middle of the court, lays it up, and it rolls in off the back of the iron. He got by Sellers to make it 91-86. 45 seconds left. Gaylord to Jones for 3 is good from the right wing. The Pacers are not done yet. 40 seconds left, and they trail by 2. Contreras across the timeline for the Cougars. Crossing from left to right, running down the clock. 27 on the game clock, 12 to shoot for Averett. Contreras threw his legs a couple of times, stepped back, puts it up from 15 feet. It's off the front of the rim, boarded by McLean. Falling to the ground, he finally gets a pass to the far sideline. Sellers into the front court, crosses left, floats it up. It bounces off the back of the iron, no good. McLean banks it in after the rebound. Tie game with 4.5 seconds. Burnett receives the inbound, 2 seconds on the clock. Floats it up from the baseline, it thuds off the back of the rim. Another bonus period of basketball on the way. It's tied at 91. And a second overtime. Pacers deliver after the offensive board. Trey McLean was there and paced himself to bank it in for 2. Well, I suppose, William Peace, the thinking here is that, hey, we didn't have overtime all season. We may as well get a couple while we're at it. Another 5 minutes on the clock, 91-91 is the score in this intense USA South men's basketball matchup. And double overtime on the way. Wow. As you know, the Herm pretty easily packed. Tight quarters here on the campus of WPU. But it is shoulder to shoulder here. And perhaps as energetic a crowd as it's been since the game's beginning. Now right at 2 hours ago when we tipped it off initially. One more time. Well, maybe. Unless we end this one in a tie. Diaby and Bryant to center court. Tip is up. Bryant smacks it to the far sideline. Burnett tried to save it from going out of bounds, but put it right into Jones's chest. Pacers go to McLean at the top of the circle. Screen left side from Bryant. Pull-up jumper, McLean. It rolls in off the front of the rim. Consecutive baskets for Trey McLean, and he's got 9 to put the Pacers up by 2. 93-91, 4.5 minutes left in the second overtime. Burnett drives left side, whips his way through the defense, and lays it in with his right to tie it back up. Gaylord driving left side, dishes to Jones, hesitation, the three-point shot is short and boarded by Contreras. Back to Averett, possession goes with 4:13 left in the second OT. Contreras clears it out the left side of the offense, dribbles to the wing, inside the perimeter, puts up the 2, and a touch foul called on Trey McLean. Contreras' shot rimmed out off the front, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. McLean got wide-eyed after being called for his second personal foul. And James Contreras Jr. to the free throw line. With 22 points, he's 10 of 10 from the stripe so far tonight. His 11th attempt of the evening. Picture perfect. 94-93, a 1-point lead for Averett. 23 points now for Contreras as he exceeds his per-game average. Nothing but net on the second. 24 for Contreras, a 2-point Averett lead. 4 minutes left in the second overtime. McLean catches on the left wing. Overhead pass underneath on the block to Bryant. Puts it on the floor, backing his man down, Diaby. Out to Jones. Passes up the three-point shot opportunity and goes to Gaylord at the top of the offense. Surges left, pulls up from just inside the three-point line, and it's too strong. The long 2 off the far side of the rim, pulled in by Cochran of the Cougars. Burnett on the right wing now. Step back, out to Cochran. Fakes a pass left, goes to Contreras on the right. Spins at the top of the lane and floats a pass to the left wing out to Vince Contreras. His mid-range jumper off the front of the rim. Great defense to contest the shot by Tyson Sellers, and a foul called after the Trey Bryant rebound against Diaby. Moriba Diaby with his 4th personal foul following Trey Bryant's 10th rebound, giving him another double-double as he has 12 points to go with that. And Bryant back to the free throw line where he's shot 4 of 6 so far tonight. 60% shooter on the season. You wouldn't know it by that stroke. Nothing but net. And it's within 1. 95-94, Averett lead, 3:17 to play. In our second period of bonus basketball, Bryant's second free throw up and rolls in off the left side of the net. Vince Contreras checks out. Austin DeLucia back in for the Cougars. Burnett goes to DeLucia to cross the timeline for Averett. Back to Burnett at the midcourt logo. Bounce to the left, DeLucia fakes an overhead pass and dribbles center court. Over to Cochran, top of the key, Contreras turns and shoots, and it's in for 2. 97-95, Contreras, the jumper good, gives him 26 points with 2:40 left in the second overtime. McLean Hands off to Jones for the Pacers at the top of the circle. Back to Gaylord. Surges left side, deals outside to Jones. They swing around, left wing is Tyson Sellers. He drives baseline, dumps it underneath to Bryant, but it's stolen away by Contreras. Tried to get the outlet pass away, sliding to the floor. He tosses it away. But a timeout called. Very aware play by Harrison Cochran to call the 30-second TO with 2:23 left in overtime number 2 here at the Herm. 97-95, Averett leads by 2 as both of these teams inch their way up to the century mark. Sellers turning it over on the pass attempt underneath the basket. The 12th turnover on the day for the Pacers. And DeLucia to trigger it in the Cougars' backcourt. Overheads it backward to Burnett. Everybody else clears out. Burnett easily into the front court. Dribbling with his left, gives to DeLucia, receives a handoff. Gaylord Sellers there at midcourt for the trap. Bounce to DeLucia on the right wing. The 3 rolls in and out. That was about as deceiving as a miss gets from three-point range. Rebound to the Pacers. Gaylord on the outskirts of the perimeter. Bounces it to Sellers in the right corner. They swing to Gupton on the left wing. He drives, floats it up with his right off of the high glass. Tying things at 97. Gupton now has 9 points with 1:35 left in OT2. Burnett at the right wing, dribbling, bounces to Contreras on that right side. Pump fake and he drives into the lane. Pro hop, defended by Sellers, no good on the floater. It's off the back of the iron. Gaylord squeezes the rebound. In transition, Gaylord to the right wing. McLean dribbles to the left side of the basket and all the way around. He'll pull out and reset the offense. Shot clock at 15. 1:05 to play. To the elbow, he bounces left side to Bryant, receives the handoff. McLean drives, has it knocked away out of bounds. Last touch by the Cougars, and McLean will be the trigger man underneath the basket for the Pacers. 30-second timeout now called by William Peace. With under a minute to go, 57 seconds on the clock, 6 on the shot clock at the inbound pass for the Pacers. All knotted up, 97 points apiece. I'm going to get a quick breather here on the Pacers Sports Network. All right, an inbound pass on the way underneath the Pacers' own basket. Just 6 on the shot clock for William Peace. They've switched some things up in the huddle. Mikhail Gaylord will send in the inbound pass. He's at the right block, bounces it underneath. Sellers wide open, banks it in with his right. 99-97 lead for the Pacers. 50 on the clock as Averett crosses midcourt. Burnett steps back, tries a 3. It rattles in. He was left wide open and gives the Cougars a 1-point lead, 100-99 with 44 seconds left in the second extra quarter of basketball. Timeout called following the Burnett 3. He has 19 points now. Full timeout called by Averett University. Head coach David Doino in his 4th season at the helm. Talking things over with his assistants. And this has been the most exciting game of the season here at the Herm. It's been an absolute delight to call. 100-99, a 1-point lead in double overtime for the visiting Cougars of Averett University. Tyson Sellers leads all scorers with 30. That's a career high for him as he's 6 of 12 from three-point range. We'll resume play with 44.3 exactly on the clock. Pacers with possession following the Averett made three. They trail by 1. Inbound to Mikhail Gaylord. Picked up about a quarter of the way down the floor. He's at the three-point line, dribbling right side to the wing. Hands to Gupton. Chest pass left side. McLean crosses up in the lane, puts up the shot attempt, and it's blocked away. Reeled in by Gaylord. Floater in and out, and Diaby with the rebound as well. He had the block on McLean and goes up higher than everyone else to obtain the rebound and draw the foul. Diaby to the line to shoot 2 on the other side of the floor. With 24 seconds left. Averett leads by 1, 100-99. Diaby, a 63% free throw shooter on the season. An ugly make there as it bounces off the back of the rim and falls through. 101-99, 2-point lead for the Cougars. Diaby's second is up and in as well. The difference is 3, 23 seconds remaining. Shot clock turned off. Gaylord dribbles to the right corner, 18 on the clock. Crosses to the left, to the top of the circle, goes McLean. Mishandled the pass initially, drives right side, puts up the awkward layup attempt, and it's off the backboard into the hands of Diaby for another rebound. 7.7 on the clock. 102-99 is the lead for Averett, and Diaby makes his way from basket to attempt more free throws. The big man has 13 points, 8 rebounds. He's 5 of 6 from the free throw line, which is where the difference has been made late for the Cougars. No good on the first attempt for Diaby. Rimmed out. 7.7 seconds and a timeout called by head coach Claude Shields. With his team down 3 and a chance for a final heave that would tie it up given a particular result of this second free throw. By Moriba Diaby, the center out of Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina for the Cougars. Diaby, only a 63% shooter on the season, is 5 of 7 in this game. I mentioned free throw shooting as the major difference for the Cougars down the stretch. They missed 4 from the stripe in the first half. They've only missed 4 and attempted 22 since then. Burnett, the lone rebounder, underneath the basket for Averett. Diaby, a couple of dribbles and a free throw up, it's in. 4-point lead for the Cougars, and Diaby will check out in favor of Austin DeLucia. A surprising call to me anyways because of the defense Diaby has provided. Gaylord pulls in the rolled in ball from Sellers. Pulls up from 3 on the right wing. It floats the air ball and into the hands of Smith Gupton, who's fouled on the follow-up attempt with the clock stopping at .6. So Gupton in a peculiar situation here with less than a second on the clock in second overtime. His team down by 4, and he has 2 free throws. You saw Coach Shields talking it over with him before he went to the line. I think you have to make 1. He steps up, buries the first. And Gupton's into double figures. He becomes the 4th Pacer to do so now at 10 points. 2 for 3 from the charity stripe. 65% shooter from the line on the season. But now down 3 with less than a second to go. I think you have to miss this. Gupton puts it up, and it rolls through. So a 2-point game with less than a second to go. Averett inbounds it. And they did not inbound it. The clock was started and ran out, but they'll reset to .6. .6 seconds on the clock is what it is supposed to be. And I think some issues resetting the clock to that exact time because it currently reads 6 seconds. I wonder if the shot clock or if the game clock is even allowed to run down to 6. No, they finally figured out starting it at 1 and letting it run down to .6. So we have the correct time on the clock. .6, 103 to 101. Averett will inbound it. Full court pressure, obviously, here defensively for the Pacers. And Coach Shields points out a slick spot at the top of the key. So we'll get that cleaned up. The great event staff here at the Herm. Sweeps it up, and he's called back over. We want to be sure. And eventually, we will play out the final .6 seconds of overtime number 2. Ball handed to Austin DeLucia, who will inbound it for the Cougars. He chucks it in the air. It's received by Contreras, and time expires with an Averett win. But an all-around impressive effort by both teams. 103 to 101, your final after 2 overtimes. The Cougars get the season sweep in a matter of 3 days on your Pacers. Just 2 days ago, it was in Danville. An 80 to 76 loss for the Pacers. This time, much more heartbreaking. 103 to 101 in double OT. The Cougars were paced by James Contreras Jr., who despite a shaky first half, really delivered as his reputation suggested he would in the second half in both overtimes. He finished with 26 points, was 2 of 3 from three-point range, 12 of 12 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 4 assists, and a steal to go with that. Great line for a tremendous young man and competitor for the Cougars. 19 for Burnett. Diaby had 14 and 8 rebounds, 14 points, 6 boards for Austin DeLucia. Vince Contreras with a double-double, 11 points, 10 sneaky rebounds. 9 for Hunter Cochran to go with 5 rebounds, 5 and 6 for Darren Kettner. TJ McAllister with 3, and then 2 points for Louis Patrick Mua. Rounds out the scoring for the Cougars. 8 players in the scoring column for your Pacers. 30 for Tyson Sellers, a season high, a career high. 6 of 12 from three-point range. 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists for Joshua Jones, who started out red hot from 3, ended up 4 of 12 from distance. Trey Bryant, another double-double, 14 points, 11 rebounds for him. Smith Gupton reached 11 points by the game's conclusion, 5 rebounds for him as well. 9 for Trey McClain to go with 6 rebounds. Mikhail Gaylord struggled from the field, 2 of 10, 0 of 3 from 3. But as he's done for most of the second half of the season, did all the other things really well. 8 points for him, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal for Mikhail Gaylord, the sophomore of Durham. 8 points for Paul Dunlap prior to exiting with about 10 minutes left. He was disqualified. His 5th personal foul happened pretty early in the game. But otherwise, he shot really well, was 3 for 4 from the field, and then 5 points for Sam Arnold on 2 of 4 shooting. Camden Ferguson left the game early, having shot just 0 for 4 from 3, but he didn't see the floor past his injury. Looked like he had turned his ankle and did not return, so that was something perhaps missing down the stretch for the Pacers, an extra sharp shooter on the floor. But they conclude the regular season at home with a 103-101 loss in double OT. A heartbreaking one, but what a fantastic game to take in here on the final night of basketball season at the Herm. Next time out for the Pacers, with playoff hopes still alive, they go to Greensboro on Saturday. That's a 2 p.m. tip in Greensboro. And if the Pacers win, without getting into too many muddled details, if the Pacers win, they are in because they will have the tiebreaker over the pride of Greensboro College. So that is a must-win, their finale for the regular season on the road in Greensboro on Saturday. For me, that's my final broadcast from Raleigh this season. So I thank you so much for listening all season long to both this, the men's competition as well as the women's games. And we'll see you next year. 103-101, the final. Averett over your William Peace University Pacers in double overtime. Have a good night.